so nervous. Hi guys, hello, welcome to my channel. I have decided to open up a little art shop where I can sell like bookmarks and stickers and things to kind of be like a little companion shop to this channel. And I don't know exactly how to start this process, but I do feel like it's gotten to the point where I do need to just start because I keep making myself like little goals to reach before I'm like ready to open up the shop. But every time I reach that goal, I'm like, oh no, I'm not ready yet. And I make a new one. Then when I reach that one, it's just been a vicious cycle. I am definitely an overthinker and I've always envied people that just kind of like do. So today we're gonna just do. We're gonna be a doer. And I thought maybe it would be fun and maybe even useful to document the process, whether you just find it interesting, entertaining, or you maybe have thought about opening up your own shop. You could see my successes, hopefully, fails, probably. Anyway, I don't really know where we're starting, but we're just gonna start. So follow along the journey with me. Hopefully it turns out okay. We are officially on day one of this process. Because today is day one, I want to actually like work on a specific product. I don't know if that's like the smart thing to do. I mean, I guess it is, right? You can't start a business without a product. So we're gonna try to make a product today. Specifically a bookmark. I don't know if it's actually possible for me to make one myself with the printer that I have because I got a new printer last year with this shop in mind, but I don't know if it's actually gonna be able to handle a cardstock thick enough for a bookmark. So we're gonna test that out today. I got some samples from Red River Paper that I also bought at some point last year. Like I've had this idea for so long. I've just been like sitting on it because I'm too scared. If you go to their website, they do allow you to buy like sample papers. Essentially, they send you 2 separate sheets of whatever paper you want. And I did ask for 3 different ones because I saw like an actual like blog post on their website where they talked about different bookmark papers that you could use of theirs. So I ordered 3 of them that I thought made the most sense. But since getting the paper, I've been able to think about it some more and there's really only one option that'll work because I only have one double-sided option and I want to be able to print on both sides of the paper. So already in this process, I've already wasted some money. Go me. But the ones that I got were linen, which does have kind of like a cool texture on it. You're not gonna be able to see it on camera, but it's got like a linen type of texture, which I mean, I wanted to see what it looked like, but right off the bat, I know I would hate that. But then we also got 2 different polar mats. One of them is an 88 pound and one of them 60 pound. And the 88 right off the bat is definitely feeling like a better thickness for a bookmark, but it does definitely have like a different texture on the different sides of the paper. And I don't want one printing on one side to be really nice and the other side be kind of like not great. But we also have our double-sided one, which is 60 pound. And it is definitely significantly less thick. That being said, silver lining, I do feel like my printer should be able to handle it because it really doesn't feel thick enough for it like to not, you know? Whereas the 88 pound does feel pretty stiff and I don't know if that would work. So we have our paper for our bookmarks. Step 1 done because there's really only the one option. The main reason I actually want to make my bookmarks myself is because I want to do die cut bookmarks. I've talked about this company a couple of times in other videos, but this is from Humdrum Paper and I want to actually make bookmarks like this where they're actually like cut into the shape of whatever the bookmark is instead of just being like just a plain rectangle. I will probably also have those and those ones are easy enough to get like made somewhere else, so I could always do that. But for these die cut ones, I can't really find a place. I only found one place that's able to do them, but it's really, really expensive and I just don't have the budget for that. That being said, now I need to figure out an actual like design to like test print. I do have this bookmark design that I've been kind of like working on. I don't think that it's completely exactly 100% how I want it. I'm not sure that I love the colors. I'm not sure that I love the placement of the flowers quite yet, but I do feel like it's good enough to like test print because one of the things, first of all, I want to make sure that this can go through my printer. Step 1, but then step 2 is going to be trying to figure out how to get the image like mirrored on the back, like the front and back be the exact same, you know what I mean? I don't know how to do that. That's definitely gonna be something I'm gonna have to look up. Hopefully it's not too difficult, but I definitely don't want to waste my 2 sample papers, so we're gonna do that on regular paper. I definitely feel a little ridiculous bringing my whole computer in here. I didn't even address that. I do have a whole ass office, but I hate working in the dark, especially when it's like something creative like this, or I'm trying to like figure things out and need to like actually focus. This is the brightest room in the house, which is why it was actually my office before, but I just didn't need the space for the office, you know what I mean? So I put it in the smaller room, but I hate working in the dark. Okay, that is entirely too big. Moment of truth. I mean, it seems to be doing it. Okay. Oop. Hello. Take these off. It seems like a decent enough success. I'm trying not to get too excited. The colors are definitely a little too saturated, so I'll have to like mess around with the coloring and things and learn this printer. Like every printer I feel like prints slightly different. So that's gonna take a little bit of like trial and error, but we'll do that later, another day, I don't know, not right now. The other thing I wanted to know from this little test print is whether the size would be okay. I want to obviously put as many bookmarks on one piece of paper as I possibly can. I've got a couple of different bookmarks from different shops to kind of compare with. So we do have our humdrum one, and this is definitely a lot smaller. I was hoping to be able to do like 2 rows like this, but I might just have to do 1 and then maybe like another one down here or something like that. And then I have this bookmark from Fabled Folk, and this is definitely way smaller. So we're gonna have to make this bigger, but for now I'm actually gonna leave it kind of smaller because I wanna figure out the front and back printing and the less ink that I have to do for that. I actually might make it even smaller because the less ink and paper I need to waste for that, the better. Okay, it worked, and literally all I did was just flip the image on the screen. That was like the easiest thing on the planet. So here's the front side, and then yeah, they are aligned perfectly. I want to actually like make something now, but I don't think that that design is exactly like 100% how I want it. Do I have a different one I can do? Hold on, I'm gonna go through my art and we'll figure something out. Knowing that I was gonna be starting Watermoon soon, I thought it would actually be really fun to create my own little custom bookmark for my read, and I came up with this little origami boat because the cover does feature some origami boats on the front of it, and then also the whole concept of the dust jacket. Like there is instructions to be able to fold that into your own origami boat, and I just think that's so fun, but I don't actually want to fold my own dust jacket, so I thought making a little bookmark origami boat would be equally as fun. I did have to print this several different times to get the coloring right, because the coloring that shows up on my computer is vastly different than what is on my iPad. This is what my iPad shows the color as, and then here's like the printed version. They're very different in color, but it's fine. So the premium paper actually printed the color a lot truer to what my iPad shows than the plain paper. The plain paper is a lot more warm. I think it's a little too cool toned, but I prefer the coloring of this one. Unfortunately, it does not match this book at all though. I mean, I guess it kind of does, like these tones maybe, but like the actual boats themselves match the warmer tones a lot better. So I don't love this, but I'm gonna still print the other side just to kind of see or like make sure that I do have that like double-sided printing thing down before I mess with the color some more. I'm pretty sure it's like perfectly aligned. I'm so excited. That was way less difficult than I thought it was gonna be. And I am gonna cut out one of these boats from like the plain paper just to kind of see the size. How adorable is that? I mean, I know it's like kind of an awkward shape for a bookmark, but I thought it'd be fun. I just need to mess with it more and get the coloring right. I might make like little small ones and just do a bunch of different color variations and pick which one I like the best. I think we'll do that. It's been a little bit of time, but our bookmarks are done, kind of. These are definitely still some like testers or like drafts of the bookmark. So this one was my original one. It's just on like regular plain paper. And then this is the one that I printed out on our actual like premium paper. And you can definitely see like the quality difference. Like this bottom one is a lot more sharp, whereas this one looks like very faded. And also you can see like the color difference because this one's looking like almost purple. So I tinkered around a little bit with the color and I landed on this. Don't know if you can see on camera, but there is a difference, I promise. Not to like toot my own horn, but like, is that not so cute? I'm literally obsessed with this. So yeah, there's my little bookmark. I want to print out other ones that are more like official, but there's our little tester. Hi guys, good morning-ish. It's almost noon, but it's a couple days after the last clip that you saw. JK, just kidding. I ended up scrapping the footage for the whole day that I'm about to talk about because it was just me struggling to redo, literally just redo what I already did because I didn't organize my files very well. So yeah. I think I kind of said this before, but if I didn't, I'm gonna say it now. I am not the most organized person. I love to plan things, but as far as like the actual action of things, everything almost always goes completely out the window and I just wing it. Very first day that we worked on this, I saved my file, but like, I don't know, when I went to go print it a couple of days ago, the coloring was totally off, the sizing was totally off. Like, I don't know what I did, but like nothing was right. And for whatever reason that first day, and I think I even said it, like it was so smooth, like the process of me changing the color and things like that, I only had to do it a couple of times. It went really well. Well, let me tell you, me trying to recreate that a second time was a hot mess. So much so that I got like so frustrated that I just like turned the camera off and we took a breather. We're back today. I'm excited. But yeah, after that, I realized I had a whole nother problem with my sticker or like my cutter program. You have to print like these registration marks on the paper so that the cutter like knows where to cut. I've never print anything using my Silhouette program that's been double-sided before. So that was like a whole nother thing that I had to figure out. It wasn't that bad. Like the first time I did it, actually, let me show you. I don't think you're even gonna be able to tell, but like it's ever so slightly like off. Here's the outline of this image. On the back, it's like down here. So they're not like completely lined up, but I did fix it. It was a very easy fix. You just basically have to center, like group your images together and then center them to the page. So when it flips, it literally flips like this instead of, you know, flipping like this, if that makes any sense. So anyway, all that to say, we finally have one sheet of perfect bookmarks. So now it is time to hopefully not struggle with my cutter. Also too, I very much had like a hindsight is 2020 kind of thought this morning because this is being such like a process. I'm wondering why I thought it would be a good idea to do all of this with something that I'm not even sure I'm going to sell. Like why? Anyway, let's just start cutting. And because this is my bedroom, I do need to kind of like rearrange some things so that I can make like a temporary little cutting station. If you're curious, here's my cutter. It's a Silhouette Cameo. I got it years and years and years ago. I don't remember exactly. So again, I think I kind of said this the other day, but hopefully it still works. And another thing I have to be kind of like conscious of is I do need to have it close to my computer because it does plug in and they don't really provide you with like the longest cord in the world. Also too, it does need room in the front and the back for the mat to like go back and forth. So we're gonna kind of like float this little table in the middle of the floor. Now, I need to remember where this plugs in. Oh, cool. On the side farthest from my computer. Well, that is not gonna fit. So we're gonna have to put this over here. We're gonna have to put this actually over here, literally floating in the middle of the floor. Okay, which actually, with the table being here, our plant can go back in the corner. Totally moved that for no reason. Also, I just realized that I forgot to grab a cutting mat. All right. If you didn't believe me before at how much I wing things, this is a prime example. Literally just figuring it out as we go. Okay, so I have this really old cutting mat that doesn't have like a whole lot of like stick left on it, and I do that specifically for stickers because the paper is usually pretty thin, and when you first get these mats, they are so sticky. So much so that the paper like rips because it's just like too stuck to the mat. So it's kind of like normal practice for people that have sticker shops and stuff to kind of like de-stick their mats. My preferred method is to just do this on my shirt. So this I'm still gonna keep for my stickers, but I don't think I'm gonna use it for the bookmarks. This is kind of like a thicker paper and I feel like it's not sticky enough. Actually, you know what? Maybe it is, hold on. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's too thick of a paper. That means I'm gonna have to get a whole fresh one, which I do thankfully have. I bought like a pack of them a while back. Okay, this is kind of our very awkward setup that we have going on. The cutter actually needs like sunlight or just light in general to be able to register the lines the best. So I pointed it toward the window. I do have low tack mats, but I still feel like I need to de-stick this a little bit because she is like very sticky. And I'm just gonna use the stool to do that. And now I need to line this up as perfectly as I can. I don't actually know if it really matters if you line these up perfectly because you do have the registration marks, but I do feel like when you're cutting, it works better if you line them up as best as you can to the lines. I've actually thought of something. So I do have to do a test print, and as far as like the settings on the cutter, there are actually some presets available, and I currently have it on the cardstock one just for like plain cardstock, but who's to say if that's actually going to cut all the way through this paper. So I was actually thinking, instead of like testing it on the nice ones that we printed out, I'm going to test out the cutting setting on this crappy one that is already going to be thrown out because they're not aligned properly. So I'm going to unload that and switch these out really quickly. Ooh, okay. This is actually really sticky. This is what I was talking about. Like the paper is curling and everything because this is so, like this is too sticky and I'm already gonna like warp our bookmarks. That's really annoying. We just have to go for it, I think. Because at least if they're cut, it's like a smaller surface that I'm peeling off so I can control it a little bit better. Also, I do have a little like spatula scraping tool. I don't know where it is exactly, but I do have one. So I'll have to look for that while these are cutting. All right, I do have a preset on here that I made myself for like sticker sheets to like cut all the way through them. And that was at a 25 pressure, I think it is. They call it force on the program. And this one says 20. And my sticker paper I don't think is as thick as this one. I mean, I could always just like cut it twice if it doesn't work. I'm thinking about this way too hard. Let's just go for it, see what it does. Because if I don't have to do the extra pressure, why? You know what I mean? Moment of truth. This is always the scariest part. Oh. It looks like it's cutting perfectly, so I'm very excited about that. We have to see if it actually cut all the way through. No, it did not. Like I can kind of see some, you're totally not gonna be able to see that, but I can kind of see some sections of the cut line where it did go all the way through, but not quite there. So 20, not too good. So for that being said, for this particular sheet, I'm going to just kind of like recut it on the same settings, but then we're gonna try again with this crappy version to see what force we need in the future. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and test out with my sticker sheet. I should have just done that in the first place, but you know, hindsight 2020. That's like the theme of today. Watch it like not cut correctly this time now. Actually, also while this is doing this, I'm gonna try to find that little spatula tool. I found our little spatula tool. It literally is just like a sharp edged little spatula. And I'm gonna go ahead and unload that and move this so we can do a little surgery. All right, let's see if we can get these off of here without ruining our bookmarks. So first I'm just gonna rip this off. Ugh, they look so cute. Yeah, see the paper is like tearing. That's what happens when the mat is too sticky. This is so sticky that it's re-sticking the parts that I'm already taking off of it. Okay. The spatula definitely helps. There's like a little bit of a curl to it, but I can like flatten that out just like sticking it in between a couple of books. But another problem that I'm reminded of with having too sticky of a mat is the back of this has little sticky bits on it. So that's super annoying, but it's all a learning experience. So, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. And obviously this little spatula tool, what I was gonna say before I realized it was sticky on the back, The spatula tool is really helpful for doing this kind of thing, to get them off without having to like literally bend them and peel them. However, this is not the most time efficient way to be doing it, so I don't want to like make a habit of this. I definitely just need to de-stickify my mat. Either way though, we have a really cute little army of origami boats. How cute! And they're double-sided and everything. Ugh, I'm obsessed. And actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I was gonna like test this more and stuff like that, but you don't really need to see that. You've already seen me struggle quite enough already. And with that being said, just kind of like a reminder, please let me know if you do want some of these bookmarks, and I'll make some without sticky on the back. And I do want to leave you guys off with a little bit of a sneak peek for the next video, just because I feel like, I don't know, as I'm sitting here thinking about like what I did in this video, I'm not really sure that it was that entertaining. I don't know, but I definitely plan for the next ones to be maybe less technical stuff and more just like, you know, making things. Like I want to make a bunch of bookmarks, a bunch of stickers. Like I want more stuff to be happening and not just a couple of days of me struggle bussing through, you know, one bookmark design. I definitely have some ideas around some like plants. Mine specifically, like I've drawn my actual plants that I have in my room. And then I also have a little disco ball girl, which I'm really excited for. Anyway, on that note, that is everything that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, as kind of like random as it was. I hope you guys have had the most amazing of days, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye!